Nadia. Nadia? Nadia?
Nadia, yes.
Nadia. Welcome to TechBBQ 2025, the official podcast. I've been speaking with Jens.
Jens, yeah.
Jens, a lot actually.
Yeah.
Also last year. He was really adamant that one of you guys came visit me in the podcast studio. So this year I have the pleasure, my pleasure, of having you come by our small chairs and have a great conversation in an otherwise crazy place.
It is.
It is.
It's huge, isn't it?
It's huge. And you were in last year?
Yeah.
It feels bigger.
It is. Well, say it's at least twice as big.
And there's this corner we're in. There's not too many people now.
No.
But there's a lot of people at this year's TechBBQ.
There.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
what?
Nadia, you come from you come here from SKYTek.
Yes.
You're representing SKYTek today.
I am.
But before we dive into SKYTek and what SKYTek is, can you give me just the short story of your own background, maybe where you came from, where your educational background, what leads you into joining or working with SKYTek?
Yeah. So, Christian, thanks so much for inviting me over. So I'm an accountant, just like you. I started my professional career as an accountant. Have been working for 20 years. Not telling my age, but been doing pretty much everything there is in accounting. Been going through all sorts of different positions. I've been chief accountant, CFO. I spent my last almost 10 years of accounting career in Yahoo. I have been leading, at the beginning, I've been leading their EMEA controllership team. And then I moved on to the operational transfer pricing. And then at one point, I decided I wanted something else because as accountants, we're always like in the dark corner, working long hours, and there's always the quarter end and the year end. So I just felt I needed to be out and talking to people and just do something else. And I was just maybe lucky that at the time, Oracle was looking for accountants willing to make the switch to start demoing and presenting the Oracle applications that they were just moving to the cloud. They were starting developing the cloud applications, and they wanted an accountant that could speak the language with the accountants that they were trying to sell the software to. And this is how I got into Oracle, where I was a pre-sales solution engineer for 4 years. And I think it's then when I started to pick up an interest for technology more so than, just doing another accounting role or something like that. So it's then when I started looking to, you have to learn about the technical aspects of the products and so on. And then with Jens, there's always that, dinner time conversations. What are you talking about at dinner, right? It's like, yeah, he's been doing this Google Workspace support for this many years, and kind of like, you feel like you need to be able to participate in the conversation. So you start searching and you start educating yourself, and then I became certified for all sorts of the Oracle technology and all of that. And Google. And then I decided to take more active role into SKYTek, also because Jens needed a little bit more help with expanding our operations internationally. I myself am Romanian. Romania is a great country in need of good technology and especially cybersecurity. So we were just, trying to find some international markets to expand our services. This is how I became the Chief Operational Officer for SKYTek. And we do have operations in Denmark and the Nordics. We also have operations in Ireland, in Romania. And we're looking to expand into Spain. It's a longer journey.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome background story. Coming from the dark corners of accounting.
Yeah.
Small dusty basement, I was almost about to say. The new accounting companies are modern companies, but it's still...
The accountants are not getting the greatest spots.
No, definitely not. And especially if you're accounting internally in a company.
Yeah.
You're the last person anyone wants to talk to, and you're the hardest to find.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you transitioned from accounting to SKYTek to, which is basically, I don't know, I'm not 100% sure, but some Google Workspace support.
Yes. So we are a Google partner, and we offer support to companies that are using Google Workspace mainly. We offer them support with securing and configuring their Google emails and the Google Drives. We advise them on the other securities that they can implement within their organization. We help them basically secure the infrastructure that they're running the business on. It's very important that you know how your data is being shared outside of your organization. It's very important that you have a backup for the data that you have in organizations, have a disaster recovery plan, have a business continuity plan. So we help them with advice, support on those areas.
And I'm just thinking out loudly here. What differs the using the SKYTek support versus trying to troubleshoot or be in contact with Google representative or something, their own support systems? How does it differ to use a private support partner for the Google Workspace area?
Yeah, very good question. And thank you for that, Christian. So what is happening, and I think where Google's customers are always a little bit confused with, it's exactly what you just asked. Google is providing the service, and they have recommendations and they have instructions as to how to secure your service, how to implement data access for your users and all of that. But it's ultimately down to the actual company to implement all of those measures. So some companies will think, well, I have the email from Google and Google is going to protect me. I will think the same with, I have the email from Microsoft and Microsoft is going to protect me. But the moment you start using your email with your own domain, so, SKYTek.dk is your domain. So you bought your email, you bought your license from Google, and now you start using Google for your emails, but you're sending emails from your SKYTek.dk domain. Now that domain needs to be protected, and it's not going to be Google who's going to do it. Google is going to give you instructions. You can go online and you can find the instructions. They actually provide those instructions the time you activate your service. But many companies are not doing it, whether they don't know it, whether they don't understand why it's important. We see many, many companies not protecting their emails, not protecting their domain. This is where a partner comes in, and they are relying on partners to help their customers. So many times, if you have a problem, you call Google. Their recommendation is find a partner. They'll be able to help you. So Google is only responsible for delivering the service and making sure the service is available to you. They will give you the instructions of how to use it, but whether you're doing it or not, and whether you're securing it or not, that is completely your responsibility. So you can do it yourself, or you can have a partner like us helping you, doing it maybe together with you or doing it for you.
Totally makes sense. And really especially in the SME, smaller company market area, is a really overlooked area.
It is. And, to have someone internally doing that for you, there's a cost associated to that, right? You have to hire the person. There'll be a recruiting cost. There will be, monthly salary that has to go to that person. There's taxes and all of that. You may not need that person as a full-time employee. So, there are some configurations you do at the beginning and then you go and review it, periodically. There might not be a requirement to have that person hired at the company as a full-time. So then, you hire, you contract a partner, and then you have access to their skills and knowledge on a need to, like on ad hoc basis, and whenever so there are certain economy of costs to be achieved.
Definitely do believe that this, as you say, that Google is delivering the tools, they're delivering up to build the infrastructure.
Yeah.
But they are not responsible for how you use it.
Exactly. And configuring it, they're not responsible for
And I think this is an overlooked area.
Yeah.
Most people take for granted.
Yes.
So they just use the services and rely on that the services are perfect as is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the truth may be, especially when you go into DMARC, main setup, that you do need better security on your end to protect your own domain and your own domain rights and cybersecurity.
Yeah.
Which is taken for granted and saying, well, now I put the domain into Google, Google take care of everything.
Exactly.
But no, Google are only providing you tools for you to link up.
Exactly.
But not providing you the full service package.
Exactly. And, DMARC has existed, for a while as a standard to securing your email, but there is still a lot of confusion around it, and we do a lot of education ourselves. I mean, SKYTek, we do write articles and we do, try to educate our own customers, but also other potential customers as to why it is important. So this DMARC is the domain. What's it called?
No, I can't remember what the shortcut for.
Domain mail authentication, reporting, and compliance, something like that. Yeah. So it actually comprises 3 different policies, and these are actually all in the instructions that Google is providing, not the DMARC one. They're not going to try to get you to enforce the DMARC, but the 2 other policies, the sender policy framework and the domain key identification, that is in the instructions that Google are giving you at the time you're activating the profile, the domain. But even there, we see there's a lot of mistakes that the customers are doing. And then when you come to the DMARC, I mean, you have to be very, very well configured and be by the book configured with the 2 policies for you to be able to activate DMARC. We do see customers activating DMARC and then will be rejecting their own emails. So you really need to know, and we do spend a lot. Yeah. Yeah. We do spend a lot of time educating ourselves, but we do spend a lot of time advising companies into how to do it. And it's only recently that DMARC has come up to be this must-have standard policy. It's also because large email providers like Yahoo and Google, they have started demanding that whatever email is being sent to their servers, they will come from domains that have this DMARC activated and enforced, because they've been seeing a lot of unconfirmed emails coming into their servers, and then they need to go and then analyze email and see if it is spam or something like that. So now the pushing it back to, the actual sender and say, well, listen, if it's not going to be compliant, we're probably not going to deliver it. So now it's becoming like something that really, really needs a lot of focus from the companies trying to get to a point where they can have a full DMARC policy enforcement. And it's also with now we have this NIS2 that is coming into place. Many companies are trying to get certified for ISO, all sorts of ISOs. And it all stems onto having a full DMARC compliant policy on your domain. But then we look even further, like take the example of Google. Google is going to give you a license for Google Workspace. You have your email, but then you have your Google Drive. So you keep all your data, all your documents, or your company's documents into the Google Drive. Now, where you're keeping them into the Google Drive is also important. Who has access to the documents is also very important. How those documents are being shared externally with other users that are not within your organization. So you can't control when, how, and what they do with the data. That is also very important. So again, it's like working with a partner like us to help you understand how best to use the product that Google is providing.
Definitely. It's awesome and really get all around the Google setup and how you utilize the Google tools as best as possible. What I would like to dive into maybe a little bit, if we can leave the viewers with something learnable today, is where do you see which difficulties, which challenges do you see maybe even the companies that don't have internal experts in these areas that rely solely on Google setting up and taking for granted, smaller companies? Which areas would you recommend them to look at? Which difficulties do you see them facing? And what are something that you should be aware of if you have not started the process of doing the DMARC verification and the Google Workspace configuration yet?
So I think
big question, I know.
Yeah, it's a big question. And I think the most challenging in talking to the customers and talking like our customers, we work with them to educate them. So I'd say I hope our customers feel like they're a little bit better informed than the people that are not our customers. But what we see many times when we talk to companies is that, well, it's not a priority for us. We're too small to matter. No one's going to try to, use our domain for anything because we're not that big and things like that. Everyone is a target. Everyone is a target. So everyone needs to have a backup solution for what happens if all your documents, all your important documents, or your contracts with the partners are all on a computer that gets stolen, or it's in a, God forbid, is in a building that goes on fire. You've lost access to all your data. You can't retrieve that data. What is the best solution for you? Have a backup solution in place. How are you going to recover your documents in case you lost them? How are you going to make sure that if a user or an employee is getting their phone stolen from them, they've forgotten it into a train, and then someone else might get access to your confidential data? Your startup, you're just developing a product that you think is revolutionary. Can you imagine what it would be if the laptop that you just built your entire product gets stolen from you? So I think, like, I'm a big advocate for the cloud. Like everything has to be in the cloud. I think you need to try to start looking for people that can advise you on what best solution is for you. I would definitely recommend going to the cloud, but you have to look at, is my domain protected? Am I being used? Because it will affect the reputation of your domain, and then it will affect, how you communicate with companies. Many companies will be looking, they will start having these requirements to be compliant for NIST. So they will be looking at, are you a threat to their infrastructure? Because you're not isolated in your domain. You're not isolated. You communicate with other domains. When you send an email, you're communicating with another domain. If you have a vulnerability on your domain, you will potentially, transfer that vulnerability to the domain you're communicating with. So it's really, cybersecurity is a big scary word. Cybersecurity can be, tackled through all these like small little steps. So if we each take the steps to protect our own domains, if we each do what we need to do in terms of DMARC, in terms of data loss prevention, in terms of data access, I think we will all be in a better place in a couple of years. And know that if we receive an email from Christian.com, it is coming from Christian.com, and I can trust that email is legit. And I can then, if Christian's asked me to do something that I can trust is coming from him, and I can then, do what he's asked me to.
So what does the future look like in this space? Is it the hope that everyone does their own little part? Are we looking into new protocols in the future that will revolutionize how we use the web or the email? Or what are you looking into future-wise in this area?
Well, we are looking at AI, just like everyone else. We are using Google's AI on a daily basis. It's really helped us a lot.
Gemini is a great AI.
It's a great app. And, for me as an accountant, and, it really helps me express myself a little bit better. So yeah, we're using AI everywhere and all the time. And I think it's great. So it's, trying to keep up with this technology companies like Google. It's always like a race, because they always come up with all sorts of new ideas. And it's great. And it's, going back to the cybersecurity, there's now new things that we can look at, how we enroll the devices, how we protect, how we enforce the password management, and all sorts of things. But in terms of what's coming next, I'd say there will be a lot more focus on domain security. That DMARC compliance is going to have to be there. We have actually started looking into activating DNSSEC, which is an extra layer of security. A little bit more difficult to achieve, but not impossible. So I think for the next couple of years, the focus will still be DMARC. And then after that, I really don't know. I think DNSSEC must be the next target, but that's further down the line.
And with anything within tech, within defense, within military, whatever, the better one side gets, the equally better the other side gets as well.
Exactly, because it's an ecosystem.
Yeah, you apply. Now I'm just inventing words, I think, but you apply AI crypto generation. Let's just call it something like this. That constantly crypto your data.
Yeah.
To make it private.
Yeah.
Then the other part is just going to make a AI encryption. So it's like having one AI count from find a random number from 1 to 1 million.
Yeah.
By counting, and then stopping at a number. But then you just have the different AI count down from 1 million to 1.
Yeah.
And stop. And at one point they're going to meet anyway.
Yeah.
The threats are only going to be more and more increasing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe this is also why it's important to don't overlook this area now.
Exactly.
And get ahead of the game each step of the way, or maybe in a few years you will be 10 steps behind.
Exactly. And you're absolutely right, because AI and then the technology is advancing at such a speed that you really need to try to follow it as closely as possible, because it will at one point block you from doing your business the way you were used to doing your business. So the idea is with this DMARC compliance is that if you are not protecting your domain, it will get marked as a spamming domain. So that will decrease your reputation. Now, the lower your domain's reputation is, the more your emails are going to be tagged as a spam, and they will not be delivered or delivered into spam or something like that. So it's a down spiral that it's very, very difficult to come back from. So the prevention is always the best policy. It's because it's very difficult to come back from a domain with a low reputation and try to improve it, and it's a long process. So take preemption steps. Take the route of preventing the bad from happening to you, rather than reacting to something bad that has happened to you. And if you're looking at all this cybersecurity incidents, and there has been one recently in the UK with Marks and Spencer, and I actually remember walking into a Marks and Spencer shop on the day that happened, and they were like, "We can't take any card payments. We can only take cash payments." And I didn't understand what was happening, and it took about a week before we all understood what happened. And all of 75% of the cyber attacks start with an email.
Yeah.
The email is often the gateway to a cybersecurity. So protecting your email is really, really maybe the first preventative step that you can take.
I imagine it's like you buy a house. This is Google. You buy the house.
Yeah.
Please buy a lock for your door.
Yeah, and please use it.
Yes.
And yeah.
Exactly. Maybe there is a lock, but if you don't
just close the door.
Yeah,
Lock
this is
the door.
first step.
Yeah.
I mean, and it is a first step. Yes, there are more steps you can take. Definitely.
It's there.
But please start there. This will make this discourage, like, at the moment 95% of all break-ins. That your door is locked.
Yeah.
So please use what you get and make sure you lock the door.
Very good. Very well put. Yeah. Very well put. Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I actually think we're running out of time.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Christian.
Be speaking a full day about cybersecurity and AI.
Yeah.
Also, we're speaking the same language as accountants, so we could
I really want to have a look at your product. I really want to have a look at your product, because as accountants, for many times, just shooting ourselves in the foot. It's always like, oh no, I'd better do it myself. I don't trust anyone. But you have to trust someone, because there's so much data to process. At one point, you're going to be overwhelmed. So just use the AI to help you live a better life, actually.
Please don't be lazy with AI. This is
don't be lazy.
Don't be lazy with AI. This podcast can go on forever, but this is a different topic I speak a lot about, and in some speaks I will be doing in the future also.
Yeah.
People have gotten lazy with research and rely too much on responses from AI.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a good thing that you're using AI, and it's a good thing you're using it to help you create stuff and all of that. But you still need to know if the answers you're getting are correct. So the knowledge still has to sit with you.
I like to compare it like the early days of Wikipedia.
Oh yeah.
Before everything was super verified, like it is today. Today, you could say Wikipedia is somewhat reliable source of information, because everything is cross-referenced all the time.
Yeah.
And you will be deleted from Wikipedia if your sources are not listed correctly.
Yeah.
And cross-checked. And to me, these days, AI is the same as early stage Wikipedia, because AIs do make mistakes.
Yes.
Do gather the wrong information.
Getting creative.
Do get creative.
Yeah.
Do have phantom dreaming of their own. Do lie as well if they cannot find the correct answer.
Yeah.
Just lie to comply with you.
It's trying to justify the answer to you.
Yes. And this becomes a little bit of a problem these days. But so don't rely too much. Rely on the experts instead. Talk to the experts.
Yeah.
Talk to SKYTek for all your Google compliances, Google cybersecurity, and Google Workspace setup to have the best start on your online journey, your cloud journey. And this, if you don't know how to lock the door, please ask an adult.
Very good.
Awesome. We'll stop it here. Thank you so much for joining the TechBBQ 2025 podcast. It was a pleasure speaking to you. And have a fantastic 2 days here at TechBBQ.
Thank you. And you too, Christian.
Thank you.